Some people work their entire lives and never break free from financial struggle. Others, with the same 24 hours, the same human brain, build empires, influence nations, and rewrite industries. What separates them? It isn't luck. It isn't intelligence. It isn't even hard work. It's how they think. Billionaires don't just have more money, they operate from a completely different mental framework. They view time differently. They approach risk differently. They solve problems differently. This is the untold psychology of the ultra-wealthy, the mindset shifts that turn ordinary people into legends. In this documentary, we're diving deep into the way billionaires see the world, how they make decisions, build unstoppable momentum, and attract opportunities that others never even notice. From Elon Musk's risk-taking algorithms to Warren Buffett's timeless patience, from Oprah Winfrey's abundance mindset to Jeff Bezos' obsession with long-term thinking, these are the mental codes behind massive success. If Think and Grow Rich taught us what to do, this will teach you how the wealthiest people on earth think while they're doing it. Because success isn't just about working harder, it's about thinking smarter. And once you adopt the billionaire mindset, money stops being the goal and becomes the inevitable result. How billionaires think about money differently. For most people, money is a goal. They chase it, save it, spend it, and worry about losing it. But for billionaires, money is not the destination, it's the tool. It's the fuel that builds systems, creates opportunities, and multiplies value. The average person thinks, how can I make more money? The billionaire thinks, how can I make money work for me, even when I'm asleep? This single mental shift changes everything. Take Warren Buffett. He doesn't chase money, he builds machines that generate money over decades. He invests in companies that pay him while he sleeps. The result? His wealth grows even when he does nothing. Or consider Jeff Bezos. He didn't start Amazon to get rich quickly. He built a business model where money constantly reinvests itself into logistics, technology, and customer experience, and that compounding effect made him one of the richest men on earth. Billionaires don't see money as a paycheck. They see it as a soldier, one that can be trained, deployed, and multiplied. Another key difference is how they think about value. Most people trade time for money. Billionaires trade solutions for money. They know that the bigger the problem they solve, the larger the financial reward. That's why Elon Musk isn't focused on selling cars, he's focused on solving global energy and transportation challenges. That scale of thinking attracts billions in capital. Finally, billionaires master one principle most people ignore: leverage. They don't try to do everything themselves. They leverage people, systems, technology, and capital to multiply their impact. As billionaire investor Naval Ravikant says, you're not going to get rich renting out your time. You must own equity, a piece of a business. Money isn't about working harder. It's about thinking smarter. It's about building systems that make you rich while you live your life. This is the first psychological shift: stop chasing money. Start designing systems that attract it. How billionaires think about time, the most valuable asset. If money is a tool, then time is the currency that buys everything, and billionaires understand this better than anyone. Most people treat time as something to be spent. They trade hours for paychecks and fill their days with distractions. But billionaires treat time as something to be invested. Every minute must produce value, growth, or momentum. Warren Buffett famously said, "The rich invest in time, the poor invest in money." It's why he spends 80% of his working hours reading, thinking, and planning, activities that multiply the value of his decisions. Jeff Bezos once explained that his most valuable skill wasn't coding or logistics, it was making a few high-quality decisions per year. By protecting his time, he focused only on the choices that moved Amazon forward in massive ways. Billionaires also understand leverage through time. They don't try to do everything themselves, they buy back their time. They hire talent, delegate tasks, automate systems, and eliminate anything that doesn't push them toward their mission. And perhaps the most profound difference? They think in decades, not days. While most people are chasing quick wins, billionaires play the long game. Elon Musk isn't focused on next quarter, he's planning for Mars. That long-term perspective transforms how they act today. This is the psychology shift you must make. Stop trading time for survival. Start investing it for significance. Guard it ruthlessly, because time, not money, is the one asset you can never earn back. How billionaires make decisions fast, and rarely regret them. If time is the most valuable asset, then decision-making is how billionaires protect and multiply it. The average person hesitates, they overthink, doubt, and delay. But billionaires make decisions quickly, confidently, and rarely look back. Napoleon Hill observed this trait a century ago. Successful people decide fast and change their decisions slowly. The unsuccessful do the opposite. Why? Because billionaires know that speed is power. In a world that changes daily, the person who moves first often wins, even if they don't have all the answers. Richard Branson has said, business opportunities are like buses, there's always another one coming. He doesn't wait for perfect certainty, he decides, acts, and adapts on the move. Jeff Bezos calls this the 70% rule. He believes that if you have 70% of the information you need to make a decision, you should act. Waiting for 100% means you're already too late. Billionaires also remove emotion from decisions. They focus on data, probability, and long-term impact, not fear or doubt. Warren Buffett often says, I don't let emotions corrode my mental framework. And they delegate decisions that don't matter. Billionaires save their mental energy for the few decisions that truly move the needle. Steve Jobs wore the same clothes every day, not because of fashion, but to save decision power for Apple. The lesson is clear, indecision is more dangerous than a wrong decision. You can correct a mistake, but you can't get back wasted time. Success doesn't come from making perfect decisions. It comes from making enough decisions, fast, and learning from each one. How billionaires see failure differently, the psychology of resilience. If there's one quality that separates billionaires from the rest, it's not intelligence or even strategy, it's their relationship with failure. Most people see failure as a signal to stop. Billionaires see it as data, feedback that refines their next attempt. Elon Musk once said, failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you're not innovating enough. SpaceX nearly went bankrupt after 3 rocket explosions. Most companies would have quit. Musk doubled down, and on the 4th try, the rocket launched successfully, changing space history. Jeff Bezos called Amazon's billion-dollar mistakes tuition, necessary lessons that built their future dominance. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her first TV job. Steve Jobs was kicked out of his own company. These weren't endings, they were turning points. Billionaires understand that every setback contains a seed of growth. They expect obstacles. They anticipate rejection. And they build mental resilience that most people never develop. This is why they move so quickly. They know that the faster they fail, the faster they learn. They don't tie failure to their identity. They treat it like a scientist treats an experiment. If it doesn't work, they adjust and try again. And perhaps most importantly, they never confuse failure with defeat. Failure is temporary. Defeat is permanent, and it only happens when you give up. As Thomas Edison famously said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. The billionaire's secret is simple. They don't fear failure. They use it as fuel. The power of focus. Why billionaires say no more than yes. If there's one invisible superpower billionaires share, it's not multitasking or constant activity, it's focus. The wealthiest people on the planet know that their attention is their most valuable resource. They protect it fiercely. Most people believe success comes from doing more. Billionaires know the opposite is true. Success comes from doing less, but doing it with absolute intensity. Steve Jobs once said, "People think focus means saying yes to the thing you've got to focus on. But that's not what it means at all. It means saying no to the 100 other good ideas that are there." Warren Buffett echoes the same idea. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Billionaires don't chase every opportunity, they choose one mission and go all in. Elon Musk is not building 20 companies at once. He focuses on a few bold missions: electric cars, space exploration, and sustainable energy, and pours everything into them. This intense focus creates a force multiplier. It channels all time, energy, money, and talent toward a single outcome, and that's how breakthroughs happen. The average person spends their day reacting: emails, messages, notifications, and endless tasks. Billionaires design their day around deep work, long, uninterrupted hours focused on the work that truly matters. If you want extraordinary results, stop dividing your energy among 100 small things. Pick the one thing that matters most, and give it everything you've got. How billionaires build networks and mastermind power. The secret behind every fortune. Behind every great fortune is not a lone genius, but a network. Billionaires know that wealth is a team sport. They don't try to do everything alone, they build powerful alliances that multiply their reach, ideas, and influence. Napoleon Hill called this principle the mastermind. When two or more minds work together in harmony toward a shared goal, a third, invisible force emerges, one that's smarter, faster, and more powerful than any individual. Andrew Carnegie, one of the richest men in history, openly credited his wealth to his mastermind group, a circle of trusted advisors who helped him strategize, innovate, and scale. Today, this principle is everywhere. Bill Gates and Paul Allen built Microsoft together. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak created Apple. Larry Page and Sergey Brin founded Google. Even Elon Musk surrounds himself with top engineers, visionaries, and thinkers who challenge his ideas and push them further. Billionaires understand something most people miss: your network is your net worth. They intentionally seek out people smarter than them, with skills they don't have. They attend events, join elite groups, and invest heavily in relationships. They know that a single conversation with the right person can be worth more than years of effort alone. And they give value before they expect anything back. They help, share, and collaborate, because strong networks are built on trust, not transactions. If you want to rise, stop trying to be the smartest person in the room. Instead, get in rooms where everyone is smarter than you. As Hill wrote, no two minds ever come together without creating a third, invisible force, a mastermind. That force is where ideas turn into empires. Billionaire habits, daily routines that build massive wealth. Success is not built in a single moment, it's built in tiny daily habits repeated with relentless consistency. Billionaires understand this better than anyone. They know that their results are just a reflection of their routines. Most people think success is about one big breakthrough, but in reality, it's the compounding effect of small, disciplined actions, day after day, year after year, that builds empires. Warren Buffett reads for 5 to 6 hours a day. Bill Gates schedules think weeks twice a year to step back and study the future. Elon Musk blocks his calendar into 5-minute slots to maximize output. These routines are not random, they are engineered for clarity, creativity, and momentum. Almost every billionaire follows a similar structure. Morning, They start early, often before 6 a.m. They protect the first hours of the day for thinking, planning, reading, or exercise. Learning. They dedicate time daily to learning, books, reports, conversations, because knowledge compounds faster than money. Deep work. They block focus time for their most important projects, no distractions, no meetings. Reflection. They practice meditation, journaling, or strategic thinking to align decisions with long-term goals. Relationships. They invest deliberate time in building networks, mentoring others, and meeting potential partners. Over time, these habits become an autopilot for success. They eliminate decision fatigue, improve focus, and ensure that every day pushes them closer to their vision. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a decade. Billionaires reverse that. They think in decades, and they use each day as a building block. The message is simple: your habits shape your destiny. If you master your days, you master your future. The billionaire mindset about risk and opportunity, how they bet bold and win big. Most people spend their lives avoiding risk. Billionaires spend their lives mastering it. They don't fear risk, they study it, manage it, and leverage it to build empires. The truth is, every great fortune is built on a bold decision that others were too afraid to make. Jeff Bezos risked a high-paying Wall Street job to sell books online. Elon Musk invested nearly all his PayPal fortune into SpaceX and Tesla, and came close to losing everything. Yet those calculated risks created trillion-dollar companies. The difference isn't that billionaires are reckless, it's that they redefine risk. To them, the greatest risk isn't losing money. It's missing opportunity. Warren Buffett often says, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Billionaires spend enormous amounts of time learning, researching, and preparing, so that when the opportunity appears, their risk is actually a well-informed bet. Another key difference: they think in terms of asymmetric risk, where the potential upside far outweighs the downside. For example, investing $1 million with the possibility of making $100 million is a risk they'll gladly take. They also understand that risk tolerance grows with experience. Each bold move builds confidence. Each setback becomes a lesson. And over time, they develop what psychologists call anti-fragility. They grow stronger under pressure. Ordinary people see risk as danger. Billionaires see it as the price of admission for extraordinary results. As Richard Branson famously said, business opportunities are like buses, there's always another one coming. But you'll never get anywhere if you're too afraid to hop on. Legacy thinking: how billionaires think beyond a lifetime. For most people, wealth is about comfort, a nice house, a stable income, maybe a little luxury. But for billionaires, wealth is about something far bigger: legacy. They don't think in days or years. They think in decades, sometimes even centuries. Their vision extends beyond their own lifetime. And that shift in perspective changes every decision they make. Consider Andrew Carnegie. He gave away over 90% of his fortune to build libraries, universities, and institutions that still educate millions today. Or John D. Rockefeller, whose foundation transformed global medicine and science. Their money outlived them, and so did their impact. Modern billionaires continue this tradition. Bill and Melinda Gates are eradicating diseases worldwide. Elon Musk isn't just building companies, he's building a multiplanetary future. Jeff Bezos is investing billions in space exploration because he's thinking about humanity 300 years from now. Legacy thinking changes how you see risk, time, and even profit. It pushes you to build companies that last, create innovations that solve real problems, and design systems that serve future generations. But legacy isn't only for billionaires. It's for anyone who chooses to live with purpose beyond themselves. It starts with one question: what will the world remember you for? The richest people on earth don't just accumulate wealth, they architect futures. And that's the real secret of lasting success. The Billionaire Blueprint, your next chapter begins. You've now journeyed through the mind of the ultra-wealthy, not just their money, but their mentality. You've learned how they think about time, how they embrace failure, how they channel focus, how they master risk, and how they build networks that amplify their power. But most importantly, you've seen what truly sets them apart, their vision. They don't chase quick wins, they build legacies. They don't wait for permission, they create their own opportunities. They don't think about tomorrow, they think in decades, sometimes in centuries. And here's the truth, none of these principles are locked behind privilege or wealth. Every single one of them is a choice, a way of thinking, a discipline, a decision you can start practicing today. The question is, will you? Will you guard your time like it's gold? Will you embrace failure as fuel? Will you focus relentlessly on one mission? Will you take bold risks that scare you, and grow from them? Will you build alliances and think beyond your lifetime? Because if you do, wealth won't be something you chase, it will be something you become. This is not the end of your journey, it's the beginning. If this documentary opened your eyes, join our mission at Trillies by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. Comment below with one billionaire habit you're going to start today. Remember, great fortunes don't start with money, they start with a mindset. And once you master the mindset, the money always follows. This is Trillies, and your story of wealth, purpose, and legacy starts now.